Hello, everyone. Hello, Femmies. How is everyone doing? Happy Sunday. I hope you all had a great weekend. What were you up to? I have good news for you. Mercury has gone direct, guys. You can breathe. You can breathe. You can go traveling now. You can sign those papers. You can ask for that money if, there was a major delay in getting paid. Now's the time. Go for it, guys. Breathe. Retrograde was a pain in the butt. At least for me, I'm an Aquarius, as you know, and it really hit hard with the fixed signs. So I don't know how everyone else is feeling. I'm feeling much better, I can tell you. I'm feeling a lot more hopeful, positive, and energetic than I did before. So how is everyone doing? I'm just gonna say hello to the chat because I've missed you all. Gabrielle is always here. She is the super mod. She's always helping, giving me so much information as well behind the scenes. Thank you, Gabrielle, for being here all the time and for being such a great mod. I want to say hi to Light Mission. Hello, Femmies. Ronnie's here as well. Hello. Oh, guys, I love seeing you. I miss you. And I mean it every time. Like when it's been a few days since I do a live, I really miss talking to you. Elizabeth is here. Hey. Hello. Well, guys, I'm so happy you're all here. And this is another Femme Friends show. And I've got a very special guest. I mean, you know me. I bring on people that I connect with, people that I know, people that I've become friendly with, because I want also to talk about spirituality and things that they do on this platform live and include you in these discussions, everyone. So please, if you have any questions, if you want to ask him anything, please go ahead. And I told him, I reassured him before that, Femmies, this community is very soulful and you've all got big hearts and you're all very super kind. He's not used to YouTube, but this is the place because he's in good hands with all of us. Danny's here as well. Where have I been? I know I've been so busy, guys, and because of retrograde, so much in my personal life was going on. And I needed like a minute. So I took a little bit of time off YouTube, which is about like a week, a little over a week. But I'm back, guys. I'm back. Oh, I missed you too, guys. And over summer, I'm going to be on YouTube a lot more because, as you know, I'm taking a little summer break from readings. So I'll be here a lot more and I'm going to bring in very special guests and big names as well. So, stay tuned. So where is everyone? Hi, Isa. How are you, girl? Thank you for the emails as well. Isa is another Femi who is always like keeping me up to date. She's telling me, especially with the Johnny thing, we were like, there was a lot of the Johnny Depp case. There was a lot of back and forth. And yay to Johnny, he won. And I know, okay, this is a mini rant before I bring on my guest, okay? And I was just thinking about yesterday, I was sort of going back and forth about ranting on the community tab, but I'll rant a little bit here now because you're my family. So listen up. So I had some flack and some trolls that came out of the woodwork under my Johnny Depp reading, okay? And they said, you were dead wrong and you were this and he won and you got it wrong. Did you even watch the video, trolls? I said it's in the middle. It's the time that I did the reading was about 2.5 weeks before the verdict came out, okay, before the jury deliberated. And I said, it's not clear. At the moment, it seems that Amber Heard, it's like the win, or let's say, the favors towards it's on Amber's side. But I said, this could pivot. I feel it pivots. And no matter what happens in court, Johnny's coming out of it a winner because he's going to win the court of public opinion, which is what happened. As I keep saying, guys, nothing is set in stone. I know I'm psychic. I know I read the cards. I'm a medium and all that, but nothing is set in stone. Things can change. Energies change. But it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means that at the time, whoever did the reading, that those were, let's say, that was what was happening, and it seemed to be sort of the direction it was all going. So I don't mind getting criticism. It's part of my job. It's part of my job that naysayers and people who are skeptical come after me. I'm okay with that. I've been doing this for years. I'm okay. But you know what? Let's be a little bit kinder to each other. It's okay to open a discussion and say, hey, you were wrong about this. Why were you wrong? Are you a fake? Did you read this wrong? And let's have a conversation about this. You don't have to come after me in such a vile and rude manner. I'm not towards you. I'm not rude towards anyone. I'm here. I'm open. I'm here to help anyone, even trolls. If you have a problem, you can even reach out to me. I'm never going to say, oh, you trolled me or you were rude to me. I'm just going to close that door to you. No, that's not who I am. But guys, it's okay. We have different opinions. We're different people. We come from different backgrounds. We have different experiences. But let's just be kind to each other. And I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about life. Everyone is hypersensitive right now. We're all battered and bruised energetically with everything that's going on. So the least that we can do is just be kind to our peers, even if we're going through a lot of shit ourselves. Because we all are. So that's it. Rant over. Whew. Got it out. I hope everyone's good. But as I said, I'm okay with negative criticism. I'm fine with it. It's just let's open a conversation, a friendly conversation about things. So let me just see really quickly what everyone's saying, and then I'm bringing Michael up. So Isa says, you were not wrong. Some people don't know how this works. I know, exactly. They don't. So I'm not taking it personally. But what I don't like is the tone. I don't like when people are just, and I tried having, and I don't normally engage with trolls, but I did try to have a conversation with them on the comment section of my YouTube. Don't go and look for it because I deleted stuff, because I said I don't want that negative energy to stay in under my videos or my comment box. And instead of, them sort of like responding in a nicer way and just telling me why they said that, it was just, so I'm like, I'm over it. I'm going to shut that door. I don't care. Well, you're right. The time you did, the energy was different. Yeah, the energy shifted. The energy shifted. It is as it is. And it's other readers as well. At that time, they said the same thing. So they were picking up the same thing. She won, no chief accusation. The verdict is very mixed up. It is very mixed up. And one last thing I'm going to say about the Johnny Depp thing is that I do feel that this whole circus, if you like, because it was a little bit, because there was just so much out there. It just opened up so many other doors. But it's like this court case opened up the Pandora's box. So wait and see. So much more is going to come out of this, not just specifically about Amber or Johnny, but generally about the Me Too movement, about, let's say, SVDV cases and people coming out and sort of shedding light about their own experiences about certain people that are prominent, that are celebrities that we know, that we are going to be gobsmacked about. So I'm just saying, expect that in the next few months. Let me see. You live of Mercury, the message about the last time you said on the live of Mercury, the message about the Mercury. You mean, I'm not sure I get that, Gabrielle. Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, it's not that, and love to Denmark. I love Denmark. I had a past life in Copenhagen. So I've got like such a connection, spiritual connection with Denmark. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, it's not about me being fake. And, I don't want validation, or I don't want, anyone to like pat me on the back and say everything's okay. I am very confident in what I do. It's just that, as I said, kindness goes a long way. That's all. With the energy shifts, we can change timelines through prayers, petitions, intentions. Exactly. Right, everyone. I don't want to keep Michael waiting backstage for too long, so I'm going to bring him up and give him a warm Femi welcome, as you always do. Hey.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hanging in there like the rest of the world, I guess.
You've got to introduce yourself to everyone watching. What's your star sign?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an Aries, so the first and last, the beginning and the end.
We've
So,
got an Aries in the house.
fire.
Fireballs.
Yes.
So, Michael, we have so much to talk about. I know you're a tiny bit nervous, but don't be take deep breaths. You're fine. Look at the chat. They're all here. They're all rooting for you. They're all
Okay,
here. They're
good.
all sending you love and blessings. You're in good
Great.
hands. So, right. Who's Michael? And what you probably saw on the title, the video title that I mentioned, VH1's Mob Wives.
Mm-hmm.
Which was around for 6 seasons years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know the show, right? We all know because we all watched it. Even if you didn't watch it, you know what it was about, and you've probably seen clips and highlights. So Michael is somewhat connected with family and friends of the Mob Wives of the show, right?
Yeah.
So Michael, who's also Italian American,
Very proud.
I know it's such a cliche, right? The whole hand.
The whole thing.
Yeah, you do it better. I asked him, first of all, if we can talk a little bit about Mob Wives, and I'll explain why. We talk a lot about housewives on this channel as well, because I love housewives. We love housewives. We always bring astrology in.
Mm-hmm.
We always bring spirituality in. But one of the conversations that we've been having a lot lately, not just me, but a lot of YouTube channels and content creators, is that Housewives has become overly produced. Not only is it overly produced, no one's in it anymore. Not in it, but no one's so invested in it anymore because we don't know what to believe, what's true and what's fake. And most of the time, the hype around the shows happens on social media rather than about the show, because people are just now the whole Kathy Hilton, Lisa Rinna thing.
Yeah.
So everyone's invested in that drama. Is that real? Who is this marketing guy? Was that all like set up? What's going on? So because of your connection with Mob Wives, I thought that it would be great to talk a little bit about the show, what was going on, the dynamic of the cast, because these are real people who had real relationships and still have real relationships. We're going through a lot of hardships as well because of husbands in jail and criminal activity and all that we know about the show, right? Which was
the life.
Exactly.
The life.
Right. So we wanted to talk about that, and I would love to hear about your experience with the show. What do you know about? What can you tell us, first of all? Because that's the other thing. Michael can only tell us just so much, right? And
it's what mob basically. So basically, my family came over as immigrants from Italy, and during that time, most Italian immigrants who came to New York, they had to start something. They had they called them Italian ghettos. So they started like say prohibition. They started gambling, bookmaking, whatever you want to call it. They did everything. And then I think around like 7 years old, about that time, I think is when my a family member of mine in my neighborhood, the feds busted in on him. But again, as kids, we had no idea what was going on. We just know there were cops and arrests, and it was normal in a way. So we didn't think about it. Fast forward to Mob Wives many years later. It was obviously a show I connected to. Just family reasons and knowing, as much as I know. And Mob Wives was just a hit. I mean, Mob Wives was literally about, at the time, like 5 women, and it was about at the time women who were married to men or related to men who were in the lifestyle, or the in the mafia, and they all. I mean, this is like we're talking Staten Island. The show is based in Staten Island, so Staten Island is almost like Little Italy over there, the whole place. So everyone pretty much knew each other, from what I know. Everyone pretty much knew each other. Everyone grew up together. It's a very small community. Trust is a big thing, respect, loyalty, not opening your mouth. And then when the show was pitched, from what I know as well, nobody wanted to do it. It was just like, what are you talking about? And then it was and then it got picked up by someone not so good, Weinstein. And it was a hit, and everyone loved it because it was real TV. I mean, it was like literally, I think it was the first season. We were watching, it's on the television. All of a sudden, it's the biggest mob bust in U.S. history. And they took down about 5 families. There's 5 families technically, like in the U.S. mafia. And they busted them on live television. I mean, it was like overproduction type of thing. This is like completely separate. I mean, it was, you can't what's the word? You can't bribe or ask the federal government to pinch it, Thursday at 2:00 in the morning or something.
Yeah. Hey.
This really happened. It tears apart families. I will say too, because it was so real and nothing was scripted, nothing was scripted. It was so real that it almost was painful, because you really were watching people really go through hard times and going through some really bad situations. And also it created, from what I saw from the outside, it definitely created some jealousy, some division amongst the cast. Who was the fan favorite, who was not. If you were Italian, not Italian, that kind of got thrown out there. But Mob Wives was definitely one of those things where, I think we discussed, it's like a cult classic type of situation. I'm trying to think. I think it was Jennifer Graziano was the creator of the show, and her sister Renee Graziano was one of the women on the show. Jennifer was not. And then there was Carla Fasciolo, and there was Karen Gravano, who's the daughter of Sammy the Bull Gravano, who is out living his life, one of the best men in the world. And he worked with John Gotti back in the day. And then we had Drita DeVanzo. Her husband was apparently a bank robber. And then we also had a cast member that came on later. Most people know, if they don't know the show, they know Big Ange. Big Ange was over the top, everything, no drama. She talked like this. She loves everybody, what I think that. And she was on Dr. Oz, actually, because while she was on the show, she was dying of cancer.
Wow.
So it was very real, because we watched someone we loved die. And then also when they had the funeral for Angela, or Big Ange, there was such a love for her, and the cast, the show, they literally were swarming the streets. Fans were trying to get into this funeral. So they had the police out, they had to keep people back. It was like a big deal. And there's a mural dedicated to her in Staten Island and everything. And then also the show was really just a way for, the women to make some money while their husbands were away or their fathers were away. And make money together as women, as a group. And sadly, I guess reality TV and egos get in the way and make people they're not as friendly as they used to be, or not at all.
So they're not friendly right now, the cast members, are they?
There's no, it broke up some. There's definitely now some division, but most out of the original, everyone gets along that I know, except there's just one person that I can't stand, and I know the rest, I don't think any of us can stand. And that was Drita, who was on the show. She was, what was she?
Is that the one who's from Albania, right?
She was Albanian, yes.
Right,
So
okay.
so she actually was, she was friends with Karen Gravano, which really, I mean, she was like a huge part of the show because she's David Wolf's daughter. But she was friends with Karen. But Drita, when she was on the show, I don't know what happened to her, but I mean, I guess she just was trying to do whatever. But she became, you know, she was a backstabber. She was a liar. And again, most people think that a lot of people love Drita from the show. Everyone loved Drita because she's so all the time, but really
she was very crass. So that's what people love.
Insane, like out of her mind. Like I think, I mean, we're all out of our minds a little, but she also was just a liar. So if anyone that really, oh, good. I'm glad you don't like Drita. No, don't like her. She's what does Karen call her? Like a green screen gangster. Like she's just 100%. She lies. She's fake. Nothing about her is real. She's not a real mob wife. And she's a complete loser. So if anyone loves Drita, you can hear from someone who don't. She's not the one to like. She's a
I don't think we have that many people who like Drita. Yeah. But she was the heart and soul of mob wives. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, we called her the like the godmother of mob wives.
Yeah.
She came in and she was very peaceful, calm, let's get along, and that type of thing. Yeah.
You always need that kind of personality. It's like New Jersey Housewives, where you have like Teresa, who is the equivalent of a mob wife to me. Well,
yeah,
just saying.
Well, wink, wink. Wink, wink to that.
Exactly. And then you've got like Dolores, who is like that grounding force, like more of that, like, you know, higher wisdom, let's just say, compared to the rest of the cast. You always need that one.
Well, just to say, to cut in there, yes, I would say Dolores maybe is a little more quiet, you know, like reserved, but she's just Teresa, just in another form.
She's a silent killer, Dolores. I like her.
I mean, if you remember the Housewives of New Jersey in the very beginning, they always kept talking about Caroline's husband, Tiny Manzo, who was murdered or found in a trunk. Right. And you know, Caroline's not telling the truth. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, most people know them, the Judy J's, yes. I mean, it's a New North. They're, you know, connected one way or another.
Open secret.
Yeah, it's an open secret. Yeah. But some are more silent than others, and I think sometimes that's better because you're just kind of quiet and take it all in. But when you're on a show like Mob Wives, it's hard to be quiet because that show was off the chain intense, and there will never be another show like it because you're not going to find people who are willing to, I guess, go online and go on television and tell the truth and say, yes, I was married into this lifestyle, and my parents are a part of this lifestyle, and because you're not supposed to talk about it at all. But nothing that was said on the show or even now is not out in the open or published or known. So I don't think it's telling secrets.
They did try 4 spin-offs. So there was Mob Wives Chicago, and there were a couple of other ones, but they didn't really work out.
No, like Angela got 2 spin-offs actually herself.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, she got 2. But yeah, Mob Wives Chicago did come out. That didn't work very well. They tried to bring in Philadelphia in with Staten Island, but that was not the same. You know, that didn't work. It was a different vibe.
I'm curious, Michael, because, okay, we have the Mob Wives, which the whole highlight and the whole sort of limelight was on the women, the wives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the big question is, what were the husbands, the mobsters, the ones who were in prison thinking and saying about probably they've seen, like, they saw the show. So, I mean, you can only tell me what you can tell me, but I mean,
it was interesting that the men, I mean, you're not supposed to talk about it. It doesn't exist. So the men, some of them I know from what I heard, some of them actually did get to watch, you know, in jail. Some people didn't have VH1 in jail, depending what prison you're in. But they did have They heard about it, radio, whatever. At first, I know one of the cast members, their father did not speak to them for maybe a couple of years at all, and he was still active and very high ranking, so he didn't speak to his daughters for that. My very good friend who was on the show, she's like, you know, we Italians, we say cousin, but she's like my cousin. Marissa's, who's on the show, her family didn't talk to her for a while. But they weren't happy at first. And then also, I mean, all of Staten Island wasn't happy. I mean, there was, even when Karen tried to do another show off of, you know, kind of like Mob Wives, but they did petitions. They were saying that this is bad for Italian Americans, and you're glorifying murder, and you're, you know, all that type of thing. But it can create a lot of division. And also, even when you watch the show, you actually saw like live retaliation when one of the cast members' husbands cooperated. He's wearing a watch, what do you call that thing? Microphone in his watch, and was recording her father and her, and like it was so bad. And during the show, you get to see retaliation because someone, then they're mad, your husband or whoever cooperated, so they break in your house, they slice your pillow, they slash your Bible, you know, they make it very personal. So like, we're pissed at you, we're coming.
The whole Godfather scene with the horse's head was not an exaggeration.
Yeah, I have a horse head right over there, a real big one, actually. It's beautiful. I do, really. But no, there wasn't a horse head in the bed. None of that. But there was, I mean, you know, it was definitely, I can't even think of a time where anything was really made up or pushed or fake, like it is now on most reality shows, especially ones I know. I mean, I just like.
But look at how, I love the fact that you said that it was like that, you know, Staten Island, and generally they didn't like, they criticized the show because they said you're glorifying mobsters, you're glorifying crime, and even like the whole like conflict and the fights that were going on in the show. And look at us now, like 10 years on, because, you know, the show aired in 2011. So it is 10, 12, 11 years since then. And now you've got Netflix glorifying the Tinder swindler.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so I'm just saying how times have changed, right? And now you've got these shows that we're back to, like the New Jersey Housewives or the whatever Housewives, Beverly Hills, OC. And you see that, you know, back then it was like all shock and sort of like, look at how they're behaving and look at the dynamic of the show. And now it's all put on. Now it's forced. Now, if they're not fighting, they don't get the numbers. They don't get the viewership.
Correct.
How times have changed.
Yeah. I mean, with Mob Wives, it literally was, I feel, because it was real and it was real families. I mean, it was history. I mean, you didn't need to fight. Now, there was fighting and there was a lot of cursing. And again, we're very expressive people that way. But, and they're all strong, independent women. So if something was bound to happen. But they all said at one point or another, they never thought that they would ever be fighting, you know, at a Sunday dinner. Never. Yeah. But I don't know. I think a lot of times when people are on television, the camera might change them or amplify them some. But who I know that was on the show, no one was amplified. They were exactly who they were. It was like, if you start it, I'm going to finish it and I'm going to be 20 times worse. And that's exactly how I am. I was like, I'm going to end you as an Aries.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, you don't have to be from an Italian-American family. If you're an Aries, you want to kill everyone.
Yes, a little. Yes.
You're PMSing 360 days a week.
I think my partner would agree with you. Yes. This is true.
Well, we know we love you, Aries, you know, because you're so fiery.
But New Jersey, Kim D, who, you know, she's a good friend of mine. And I, you know, what's funny is that people have such a preconceived notion of her, I guess, from her villain status on Jersey.
Right.
She's anything but. I mean, she is the
I
nice.
like her.
Yeah. Oh my God. The nicest, the sweetest. She's completely honest, She doesn't like nothing. Like she played the villain because to play the villain, but she literally is probably one of the best human beings I've ever met. So that's the thing. Drita's no good, and the villain being another show, but Kim's great. She's great.
So, final question about Mob Wives, and then we'll move on to the other stuff that we want to talk about. Do you think they would come back? I mean, I know that they think that fans want the show to come back. That's a fact. But I know that VH1, I think around 2018, 19, I don't remember, that they were discussing it, but then they dropped it. They said that their content has moved towards a different direction. What if, let's say, another like Peacock or Bravo or E picked it up? Do you think the women would come back to it? Would come back for a no?
Yep.
Oh.
I mean, and I also think part of it was, again, Weinstein, since he was like the main producer, and Jennifer Graziano owns all the rights to the show. I mean, Karen Gravano has done like little like spin-offs of shows that were just supposed to last a little time. They did well. And then there was like Staten Island Hustle, which was another show. I was on that one, and that was like, that lasted a little bit of time. But Mob Wives, I mean, trust me, I would love for it to come back. And there's no way that they will come back. Sorry, everyone. Because I know people have been wishing. I love Kim D too, Elizabeth. There's a whole thing about waiting for them to come back, when this will happen, but it will never be.
How about the kids like the kids, nephews, sons, cousins?
Like a new generation?
Yeah, like a new generation spin-off kind of thing. Why not?
Well, Karen did something like that, which was called, what was it called? Oh, darn. Something Staten Island, a Made in Staten Island. And it was about kids and the families. It was on MTV. And then the pandemic hit, so something messed up. But that was actually pretty good. But the new generation, I mean, a lot of the women anyway, they want to make sure their children are not down the same paths. Like as
that's what I would like to see, how the children how they've changed, and they've kind of cut off the generational karma, let's say, that follows with this. And how
I don't know. See, and what's weird too, I think about that, the karma thing, and like I go back and forth with that, because if you're a normal person in a normal situation and something happens, and you should call the cops or whatever. But if you're part of a lifestyle, then you just deal with it. So I don't really know if, you know what I mean? I don't know. I go back and forth because I'm like, is it really murder? I mean, the guy was in it too. It's kind of like if you both are in the same thing, you know that this is going to happen or this is going to happen. So it's really not like, I mean, it's all bad, I guess, but it's different to me. It's not like an innocent person got murdered. It's like somebody within their own army.
Right. Like a vigilante kind of thing.
Yeah. They're in their own thing. That's part of their life. So, yeah.
True. But it's interesting. I mean, as you can see, people are still into Mob Wives, and maybe they bring something similar, or at least some of the cast members or their kids somehow, because we want real reality. I keep saying this, like I'm an ambassador for like, bring back reality TV. Housewives, Summer House, all that. It's not reality TV. It's not.
I actually had that conversation a couple nights ago. I thought to myself, I was talking to my friend Lolly, and I told her, I said, I just think it was what did I say? Oh, I just said I think it's just dead. Like I just feel like we've seen, like, I mean, I feel like we've grown, pointing towards television back there. We've grown up with these people, like especially like Jersey for me and stuff, right? You know, I mean, 13 plus years, whatever, how long other shows, but it's over. Like, how many more things can we see? I feel like Jersey continues only because it's really about a family. I mean, the Giudices and the Gorgas. You know what I mean? If Teresa wasn't there, what would they have? They would have nothing. So I don't think any of it's good anymore.
But that's the same that they said with Jersey Shore, the show, because we all thought, okay, now there's, you know, Snooki has babies. But look, they're back. They're on vacation.
Yes.
And it's doing good rating wise.
Oh my God, yeah. And actually, I kind of like it better now than then.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, and actually, Mike Sorrentino,
Yeah.
his brother is his name's Little Frankie. He changed his name to Maximo. Maximo. He's a realtor and an actor. He was on a few shows with his brothers, Marriage Boot Camp, not Marriage Family Boot Camp or something.
Oh.
But Frankie Sorrentino, he's a friend of mine, and that's Mike Sorrentino's little brother from Jersey Shore. So, and that goes back to Staten Island as well. Jersey Shore had a lot of Staten Island people.
Wasn't Vinny from Staten Island?
Vinny's from Staten Island, yeah. Yeah. And his mother is exactly like you see on that TV. But all of a sudden,
Uncle Nino.
Uncle Nino's so one of my favorite, I have two favorite pizzerias in Staten Island, Brothers Pizzeria and then Nonna's. And Uncle Nino is at Brothers Pizza, like on the corner on the daily.
Oh, so, okay, interesting.
He's there.
Well, speaking of Nona, because you said Nona.
Yeah.
That's my segue to get to the next part of the show. Right. So I want to tell you a little bit of how Michael and I met and how we had these like fascinating discussions. We've been talking for a couple of weeks now because Michael reached out to me. He saw the video that I did with RJ. He's good friends with RJ.
Love RJ.
And so like he reached out to me because he wanted to have a reading, but not any old reading. He wanted to connect with his Nona, his grandmother, Nona in Italian. And I'll let you say the story because Michael said to me, listen, I've seen you. I know RJ loves you. I know RJ had a great reading from you. But you know what? I've been to celebrity readings, celebrity mediums before, and it was a bust. I didn't get what I was expecting to get. And I want to touch that a little bit, and then we'll talk about the rest of the spiritual stuff. So tell us, share with everyone your experience. Don't name names because we don't want to badmouth anyone. Right. Your experience with celebrity mediums.
So I've had, so especially with, on Staten Island is very big into mediums, and I am too. Mike Sorrentino sober. Yes, congratulations. So I went to a couple. There's one, I'd say out of three, out of three, maybe two were on TV. And I really thought I was gonna get what I saw on the television, which was, I guess something was going to fall out of the sky, or it was just going to be so dramatic, and I was going to get everything I wanted, and I was very disappointed because there's a long wait list for certain people, like really long, and sometimes you never get to see them. And luckily I had a little bump up to see certain people, and I was very disappointed because what I got was, what's the word? Well, it was not accurate, but it was also just kind of like
generic.
That's right. It was just anyone could have said it. I'm thinking, what? So I didn't like my experience with that because it turned me off to it. It almost turned me off to mediums because I thought, my God, if this is supposed to be, these are the people, and this was so awful, then what am I doing? And then when I did see you with RJ, who again I love and adore, and I trust him, and then I looked you up, and I reached out to you, and we talked a bit, and I felt like very comfortable very quickly, and I think doing my reading with you was very different than with the other people, even though with one of them I was face to face, I still felt very disconnected. So
really,
yes.
In what way did you feel that they weren't sort of like picking up anything, and they were just trying to
just talking?
Okay.
Yes, reaching, I'm a queen, so I know when you're reaching. They were reaching, and I could tell, and especially being face to face, it's even worse because you're and then that really turned me off a lot. I You know, because you see it, you watch it on television, whatever, and you're like, oh my God, and then you're completely let down. It's like meeting your favorite, like if I met Madonna and turned out she was like, you know, the worst person in the world, I'd be very upset. But the other mediums were, you know, they weren't any good. I felt they were just, honestly, I thought they were lying to me. And I thought
It is an editing thing, though. Because sorry to interrupt, it is an editing thing because when you do channel through, and you know that it's like, because we've done a reading together, it just takes time to get through all, because it's not that we get clear information, like we get like a whole, let's say, essay from the other side that we can communicate. So we get pictures, we get words or sentences, we get feelings, so we have to piece everything together. And on TV, right, and on TV it seems like, you know, they're like, yeah, your father is here, he's saying this, he did that, you know, he died on that day, blah blah blah, and then you see them bowling. But I can tell you from my experience, I'm not saying that there are like that some of these celebrity mediums are really, really accurate and really, really good. So they can get this information because they've been doing it for years really easily, because it takes training and a lot of work to get to that point. But it is editing. It's not like in 5 minutes they can read you, like scan you, you know, talk to spirit and give you all the information that you need.
I remember with us, it took longer. I remember when I wanted to speak to her, and I was like, and I was thinking, well, why isn't she here now? But now I could see why that didn't happen the way it happened, because I think ours was 100% authentic, and unfortunately, that other few were not.
But I don't want to say that they're not authentic, but I just think that
to me.
No, I absolutely understand what you mean. It seems inauthentic, but I think that some of these mediums are so busy. They've been doing this for so long. They have so much exposure. You know, their rates are through the roof. Like how much they charge for like half an hour of a reading, or not even a half an hour. And I think they just don't put the effort anymore. They just don't put the effort in. You know,
they're like, they have to. They don't have
to because they've got books, TVs, you know, they've got everything going.
But once you feel like you don't have to, I feel like you kind of should just, I mean, if you had a gift, then you should not be using it. I mean, if you really aren't going to give it your all, then, you know, don't do it.
Exactly. And it's funny. And that's the thing, that because you watch these mediums on TV and then you go to real life medium and then you expect that it's going to be the same thing. It's not. It's editing. It's just like reality TV. It's all down to editing and you know, sensationalizing a situation for good TV. And I'm glad you're speaking out about it, because I want people to realize that, you know, not everything that we see on TV is real life. This is how it works in real life. It doesn't. You know, we put so much energy
and don't spend, you know, thousands of dollars for, you know, 25 minutes and get nothing out of it.
Yeah, and especially if it's generic, that pisses me off.
That pisses me off.
Because you hear that on TV as well. They're like, oh yeah, your grandfather is here, they love you. Yeah, we know they love you. Like, I know he loves me. This is not why I'm here. I want some closure about something specific. Most people that come to me, they need closure for something specific, not just to hear you know, my grandma from the other side is saying, I love you. They love me. Yeah, I know that. But there's another reason why you're there with the medium. So yeah, I get you. Because that was the first thing you said to me. You're like, you know, how do you work? And I get it, because you've spent so much money and time going to mediums and leaving disappointed. So you needed to test the waters here, and I get it. I respect it. 100%.
Oh yeah, I test and test and test, and then hopefully I find the right one, you know. And then I found you, and I was like, I can breathe.
Oh, but it's a good thing. I didn't take it apart, and I think it's a good thing. It's your time and your money, and you have to, and also it's your emotional core. At the end of the day, you know, you build up that expectation going to medium, and then suddenly, you know, you've been waiting for years to get that reading, and then suddenly you're left sort of hanging.
Yeah. I felt empty before. So yeah, I mean, with you, I felt like I had what I needed for my closure. I didn't leave empty. And actually I left with, you know, more work to do. which we will do, you and I. So.
Yes, we will do. And that's the whole point of readings. And I'm glad you said that. I just want to remind everyone that readings is not that you have a reading, the 1 hour is done, and then you go about with your own life. It actually opens up a portal, and it opens up energetically so much for you, which actually, what Michael said, you have to come face to face and realize what kind of work you have to do spiritually.
Yeah, you have to do the work. Yeah, you have to do the work.
You have to do the work. Which comes to the next question about spirituality, because you come from a very Catholic family, right? And back in the day, because my family's also Catholic. So back in the day, Catholicism with spiritualism, mediumship, psychics, no. Like, it wouldn't go. It's life after death, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I want to hear about your spiritual journey, because you're very spiritual. You are very religious, spiritual, very connected to angel, God, and energy. So I want to hear your journey.
So my mother growing up, to me, was which was a good thing. She was definitely like a nun. I mean, as in, like, we had to go to mass. We knew what sacraments to give. We went to catechism. We knew everything you could imagine with Catholicism. We knew blessings on the walls, like, traditional stuff, whatever it could be. And also I was gay, and I was very young, and I wasn't too sure how that was going to work out for me. So I ended up going to church a lot. Like, I would go to church Saturday night and Sunday, which sounds crazy, but true.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. And I went to confession once a week, or maybe I don't know, just whatever. There was something I had to, like, I don't know. I loved my church so much, and I didn't understand why I couldn't get married there. I didn't understand. I mean, a lot of things. It was like emotional. It was pretty bad. But the church. But I will say that church, I mean, saved my life. I know if I probably without Catholicism, I probably would, like most young gay kids back in my time, could have committed suicide. So I know the church saved me, and which means my mother did that, because she put that in me. But I also was just kind of searching, because I'm just one of those types of people. And I knew that being, like, having Northern Italian and Southern Italian in me, the Southern Italians did believe in, I guess in old school way, like voodoo. I mean, really, which to me is not a bad thing. I don't know what people think about that, but it's not. I mean, they did, like, my great grandmother. I mean, they did prayers. They had, like, if there was a storm, they'd say something and do something and throw something on the porch. Or everyone in my family was so superstitious, and my nonna was so superstitious. Like, she wouldn't go in the same door or leave out the same door. Everything was, it was very, very deep. 13, I always knew was a lucky number for us. One, because Italian, and two, because it was our first Holy Communion. But then I started, like, searching for more answers, because I thought, well, if I'm not getting everything I need now, maybe I need to look elsewhere. So I went to everything. I went to Scientology, because everyone was saying it was bad. Back then, we didn't know about everything. So I went and tried it for like a month, and I signed.
Oh, you did? Interesting.
I did. And I did. Because, everyone said how horrible it was. And this is before that woman came on television and exposed them. But their headquarters are where they started, here in Washington. So I had to go in. I had to see what was up. And they gave me a course called The Ups and Downs of Life. After I took this test, they told me kind of what was wrong with me. And I'm, like, on a roller coaster of emotions. I was like, that's nothing new. But I was like, okay, I'll take the test. I'll take the course. So I signed up for the course. It was like not even $100. And I went for, like, I don't know, like a month or so, like, off and on for the classes. And then, I don't know, I wasn't feeling anything from it. I was understanding it, like, what it was saying, but it was like, it was more like, it wasn't really working again for me. And so then I continued on and I went to my next search, which was, I think I was like maybe 17 or 18. And I found, what was it? Kabbalah. And I found that because of Madonna, but I didn't start it because of Madonna. I just knew that Madonna was also an Italian Catholic that was really screwed up. And I thought, well, if that can help her, maybe this can help me. So I started going. I started wearing my red string. I went and I take my partner to this day. We still go to Catholic Mass at a gay Catholic church, and we still go to Kabbalah meetings. So the Kabbalah Center opened right behind my apartment at the time when it first opened its first center, because they have in New York, LA. Here it's a little conservative. So it opened there. I then bought a salon, and they moved their location across the street from my salon. I was like, well, this has to be a sign. So yeah, it is. And so I started getting into them talking about, you don't have to call God or Jesus or anything. It could be the light. It could be energy. It could be, whatever.
Source, yeah.
Whatever word you want, like that's what it is. It's all about, and Kabbalah just teaches about cause and effect. What you put out, you're going to pull in, it's kind of like, it's supposed to be common sense, but it's the hardest thing for people to grasp. It's just to, like you were saying earlier, be kind, love one another, respect. I mean, the Kabbalah definitely teaches that, like, if you go in a room and it's dark, what do? You light a candle. So it's the same thing. So we would call God the light. So a lot of times I go to Kabbalah as like my main, like the way that I kind of like focus and like go about my life, because I mean, there's a, like they have the Torah, and I have, like I was saying earlier, like I have the Zohar, and so the Zohar is supposed to be just basically like a decoding of the Zohar or of the Old Testament. So it just literally tells you, like, this is what's happening, this is what you should do, or this is what you shouldn't do. And it goes in, it's scientific, it's spiritual, and it goes with astrology. So it kind of all is perfect for me. And I still get to, go to church, my cross, with my little Catholic church. So that, and I don't think that could ever leave me, because that's also part of my culture. But I also, I was going to, spirituality wise, because I know there's a difference between religious and spiritual, but during the pandemic, when we got shut down, I immediately went to, there's a store we have here. I call it my voodoo store, but it's a store where you can go get candles, incense, spells, whatever. And I go there and I stocked up, and I was like saying my prayers. I was meditating. I was lighting incense, candles, everything you can imagine, asking the universe, my ancestors, the angels, the saints. I was naming every single thing to save my business and to bring money in and to bring peace and serenity. And I swear to God, and I didn't ask for one penny from the government. I didn't get any loans. We survived. And I swear it was because I kept putting into, like, I kept asking the universe for help and assistance. And
asking you receive. Asking you receive.
Ask you receive. I was manifesting it.
Angels, guides, they don't have free will. They can't just jump in and help you. They can't just jump in and protect you. Ask them. You have to give them that permission to enter that auric field and help you out. That's a big reminder, and thank you for saying that. And speaking of, do you want to share everyone about your business? Because we are talking about your salon, which has been blessed by the angels, because the COVID.
Oh yes. Okay. So I have a salon in Washington D.C. It's in DuPont Circle. It's over like 34 years old. I'm not that old, but it's been around forever, and it's a gay staple for the LGBTQ plus community in DC. And when I bought it, I wanted to change the idea of, it's a tanning salon, so I wanted to kind of change it up. And so I changed it to tanning and light therapy. So we basically do wellness. So we do infrared light therapy, we do red light therapy, we do medical grade saunas, we do CBD infused airbrushings. So you could still do your normal tans, but we also offer a bunch of other things you can do if you just want to help your skin improve. So I always say healthy skin with a glow. That's our motto.
I like that. And I love your posts as well. So if anyone wants a little bit of eye candy, whether you're gay or a straight woman, head on over to his IG.
Body Raise DC.
Body Raise DC. It's been tagged down in the description box anyway, so you can
get some eye candy. You will.
It is eye candy. For me, it's eye candy. I mean, you've got all these like hot men with like not just 6-pack, they've got 8-packs. And I'm like,
I know a lot of them are our clients. I mean, we do a lot of models for THE Modeling Agency, who's here in Georgetown. So we do a lot of beautiful people. With Anderson Cooper, Nancy Pelosi. Before I owned it, Chelsea Clinton, when Bill was in office. I mean, we've had a lot of people walk through our doors. So we're very well respected, and I'm also so grateful that the salon's been there since I can remember as a kid. I never thought
your intentions were pure when you bought this business. That is why you set your intentions. Even when you buy or start a business, you have to set your intentions. And I don't mean set financial intentions or financial goals. Yeah, that's good to have. But what are your intentions? Like, what do you want to do with this business? Where do you want this business to be? What do you want to give to society and the community through your business? If you set those intentions, you will be protected and blessed.
Yes, I believe that 100,000%.
You're the prime example of that, because you definitely survived
it was, trust me, there's nothing. I mean, people think that you own a salon, you have lots of money, but it's a small business. It's myself and, my partner that we run it. So it's just two people running one business. And that's the only thing we have. So I wasn't going to rely on any government or anyone else to help me. I just knew that I had to pray to my grandmother. I had to pray to my ancestors. I had to pray to the angels. I pray to St. Michael. I had my favorite, I think I used 3 types of incense and oils. I used one that was for good luck and fortune. I used one that was for money. And I used, I think, another one that was for peace and serenity, but I was more worried about money. But I would light it, and I do like a sign of the cross, and I would go like that, like over every doorway. It was just something I did. It was my own thing. And I'd say the same prayer every single time I did it to save the business in the salon. And I 100% know, because I know by looking at my numbers with my accountant, I know that the spiritual aspect of it is what saved my business. I know it 100%. Without it would.
And your heart, your intentions, your purity for it. It's not like I want to start a business because I want to be rich and I want to, because I'm greedy. No, it's you said, I'm going to start this business because this is what I want to do in my life. I want to give back to the community this way. And there you go. And keep going. And I've got a great little idea, which I'll tell you afterwards, what else you can do.
Okay. I'm down.
Which is spiritually connected, but it's also a good marketing idea too.
Okay.
Just remind me. I'll tell you later. But right. I don't know. Anyone in the chat wants to ask Michael anything before we wrap up? Because I said today we're going to try to keep it to an hour because he's busy as well. I just want to say hi to Jan, because I haven't seen you in such a long time, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's good. And Ronnie says that she's been praying more recently. Life is way better. It is, praying. It's not like miracles will happen as soon as you start praying, but definitely you feel that you are being protected and loved, and that, things are going to fall into place for you. So I don't know if anyone wants to ask Michael. Well, while he's, it's all right. It's all right. I want to see what everyone is doing, but we will definitely. So another thing that Michael and I just were discussing before we came on, he's going to be coming back soon, but we're also bringing in another guest.
Should I say?
Do you want to say it?
Can
No.
I? No.
If you
I
want to, you
can.
can. But
It's up to
if
you. For
it's for
sure.
sure, then go for it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, totally for sure.
Okay,
Oh,
say it.
my best friend, who I call my sister, she is the daughter of I'll just say this, one of the housewives on the Real Housewives of DC. And she's a very spiritual person. She's very into crystals. She's very into, I think she's definitely teaches me a lot spiritual. I mean, she's like she's a healer. That's what she is. In her own way as a friend is what I mean. But yeah, she has said that she would like to come on board and discuss her time. She lived it with her family on reality TV with Bravo. And she loves the spirituality part. So she'll be coming on here when when we set it up.
When we set it up, excellent. This is exciting.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And I love, and this is what I want to do with the channel, just bringing prominent people, celebrities, or people who are known and do something with their lives and they're known for something good, where we can talk about what they do, but also spirituality and how they are connected and why, how they came about to sort of be more spiritually open and things like that. I love that. I love when people share their experiences.
Oh my God, I can talk about the spirituality thing for forever. So we have to do a whole other segment on that. There's so much more to it.
Is she Mary's daughter? She's asking.
Yes.
All right. Okay, there you go.
How'd you guess?
They're smart. Femmies are smart. And they know their shows too.
Okay, I guess so, because I was going to say there's other daughters. But okay, yes, you're right.
Spot on.
There
Well
you
done,
go.
Julia. Well done. So there you go. We'll set it up very, very soon, and we'll be back to talk about all these things. That's exciting. And Michael, thank you very much for joining today. Again, do you have a website? Can you tell everyone your website? So if anyone's in the area and they want to have a nice time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we do New York, New Jersey, DC. We travel. We do we did the Kim D Posh, the Posh dolls. We did them.
Ooh.
So it's what is my salon's website? BodyRaisedDC.com. That's what it is. BodyRaisedDC.
That's an Aries thing to do. You're like, your mouth is faster than your brain sometimes.
I own it, so I'm like, wait, shouldn't I know this stuff? But I swear to God, it's like I'll go in. I'm a long time
Housewives fan.
Oh, okay, all right. Did you like DC?
Yeah, guys, who liked to see hands up? Who liked DC? Because we were talking about this before. I know it was a one season wonder, but I mean,
it's fair. I mean, it got cut off.
It did because of all the drama and the stuff.
By the feds, legitimately. They said, no, you have to leave.
I know. But it was such a shame because it was such a, it was a real show. Look.
And imagine it now. We loved it. Oh, good. I'm glad you did too. See, it's good. So so that's good. Like, we need to bring DC back. People should tell Andy. But
look, everyone loved it. Everyone, I tell you, there is a big fan wave that wants DC back. I know we're not going to get it, but like, they love the cast in the show. They're
trying. I mean, they tried, but it's like what that couple did, kind of, DC's so, it's like now we have Potomac and Love and Marriage DC, and that's another thing. It's like, I'm shocked by it. Like, I'm just like, huh? Because they're using my city, my name, our name for clout. That irritates me. Don't lie. That's what I mean by that overproduced thing that we were saying.
Right.
None of those people live in DC. None of them are from DC. So, and none of them are socialites in DC. So it's all fake. So some people think it's real. I have the receipts to tell you it's not real. Oh, Danny, will you show
you never watched
because it's older, but you will really enjoy it. And this was the time when Obama was in office, and it was a good time. Yeah. But no, that new show that's filming, and where they're filming, I mean, I know some very prominent people here in DC that are socialites that would never say they're socialites, but they're socialites. And they live in Georgetown, and I don't know who, nobody knows. And we know who the DJ is, but like all these people live in PG County. It's weird to me. I mean, I'm not shading. I'm just saying if it's going to be real, let's be real. And this is not DC, what they're showing us. I don't even know what that is. So, but, and I don't, I guess to each their own.
Before we go, what's your favorite show right now? Hard one.
God, that is so hard because I'm so like not happy with the Housewives anymore. I am, I honestly, I really liked, I was really liking, I like Heather Dubrow a lot, probably because she had her Godfather moment with like, you will lose everything. Like, I just thought you're that rich, you can say whatever you want. But then, with the whole thing with Kathy Hilton and Paris, Kathy Hilton is Italian, and so I liked her.
Wait, Kyle, the richest sisters are Italian?
Kathy Hilton's Italian.
Oh, now, she has a different dad, right? She has a different dad than Kyle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they're halves, but and so she's Italian, and they're raised very Catholic. And what's funny is at one point when Paris was going out, like losing her mind, her parents actually took her to the Kabbalah Center in LA. That didn't stick. So we can't blame them. But whatever has going on with Kathy and them right now, it really disappointed me because I really liked Kathy and I liked her way about herself.
Her quirky, yeah.
And now from what's being said, she said, I hope that Andy doesn't brush it under the rug. I hope that he talks about it because it's not fair you can't cancel one person and not another. Like be fair.
I agree. Why did the Vanderpump kids or cast get it so hard? And I'm not with Stassi and all of them. I'm just saying because and what their tweets was like years, like they wrote those tweets years ago. Why did they get reprimanded?
Yeah.
And some of the bigger housewives are not. So
I mean, it's been happening so long, like even with the Jersey cast with Joe Giudice saying, little gay slurs here or there. I mean, that was they explained it as, this is the way these Italian men talk. This is what they do. They don't know anything. They don't know any better. I'm not saying it's right, but they're telling the truth. Like they just don't know better. They don't mean anything by it. But when I think when people like Kathy Hilton supposedly says what she says, and I totally believe it. And when I was younger, I remember seeing Paris Hilton on a video, talking about gay people and like HIV and stuff and how we all have it. And so I just feel like if the children are saying it, her children were saying it back then, and they're still saying it, and the mom's being caught saying it, she's probably learning it from her mother or her father.
Yeah, it's learned behavior, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very sad to me because I really liked Kathy. But I do think, I mean, honestly, there's a new show coming out. It's not going to be on Bravo, but it's called, you might remember this from back in the day, called Queer as Folk.
Oh, I loved it because it was British.
It originally was British, right?
Yeah, so then I used to watch it when I was in university.
Oh my God, I loved it. And I was Brian, by the way. I was. Backwards and all. We had it Babylon. But no, that show was life changing. I remember going into like hiding, to like watch it because I couldn't let people know I was watching it because I wasn't out. But Queer as Folk, they've been trying to come back as a reboot. They haven't fully got it together yet, but I'm going to watch the British version, by the way, because I want to watch that.
I will never forget that first scene when there is this gay couple snogging, French kissing in the middle of the club when they showed it on Channel 4 with Brits being huge. So tight-lipped. Oh my God, it was huge, but it was the breakthrough that we needed.
It was.
Okay, for the LGBTQIA plus community to start normalizing that men can be attracted to each other, as are women. And this is what happens. And I love the show for what it just really.
And so Queer as Folk is coming there. It's a new era, let's call it.
Wait, is it an American production, the new one?
American production. Okay. It's on, I think it's either Peacock. and they're going to be doing the new version of Queer as Folk. So this time, the cast is going to be more diverse, but they still have the same music. They still go to Babylon. So excited.
So good. Yay.
Yes. I'm very excited.
And I love how things are changing so fast and we're no longer, marginalizing people.
Well, I will say this. There was one last group to take care of, and that's women. Women.
Well, listen, the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing is going to change things around.
I hope so, because women have, my mom's a feminist, so she's very conservative, but she's a feminist like no other. And she, like, when it comes to women, like, I know, like, we have so much more work to do, and it's so much more respect should be shown. And so, I'll be one gay angel trying to make that happen. One gay, and if anyone messes with any of my women, I'll whack them.
There you go. You go. Those Italian, that Italian DNA is going to come through.
It's just passion, baby. It's passion.
You're going to do this whole Italian, I know it's an insult, but this whole thing, like,
Yes, it's a whole thing. And I'm like, I'm just talking. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
So,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Right.
Oh, and also get crystals for your business or your home from her, because honestly, I'm saying her. Hello, you. Get the crystals, because she told me it will protect the business, and I was talking a lot. She's like, oh my God, and she does. She has crystals all over her house, like the ones that we talked about. Get crystals. It will.
Crystals, yes, definitely. I know people don't believe in their properties, but get at least one and give it a go, and then come and tell me what you think.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Pretty much. Thank you for plugging my shop too. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but you're welcome.
I always forget. And before we go, let me remind everyone, have you liked this video? You haven't? Well, go ahead and like this video, because it does wonders for the algorithm, for YouTube. And that's one way of showing love to me and to the channel and to our guests.
And love to me.
And to Michael as well. And if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and press that bell button, because YouTube is very weird about notifications and all that. So make sure that you press the bell button. Right. So you get notifications every time I post a video.
And I think you and I both know some mutual people together.
Yeah.
So if we come back on, we do something else. If I have more information, I'll share it.
Sure.
With the reality TV I'm talking about.
We'll talk about it backstage.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. Well, everyone, Femmies, I hope you have a great Sunday evening if you're in Europe, Sunday afternoon if you're in the US and Canada, and Monday morning if you are in Australia and New Zealand. I'm giving you a lot of love, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Love and bye.
Bye.